bodice. Ay, 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 I'm all alive. If the point got to my head, say make I deny you. I go tell them, say lie. Don't be like, yeah. I fit to spend all of my money on you. Spend a couple million on you. Give you love until you say you don't do, yeah. Special type of feeling that I feel when I'm with you. Oh, the mommy, anytime where I deal with you. I want your heart and soul and your own body too. I can't let you go. I'm beginning to fall in love. I'm beginning to fall in love. I'm beginning to fall in love. This love no be ordinary thing. It's supposed to be one night fling, but now I know they catch feelings.
Good day, viewers. You are welcome once again to Success Fashion Academy. Today we are going to be sewing our corset gown with turtleneck. It was posted on the last video. The cutting was posted, so today we are doing the sewing. So this is the back panel. I told you in the last video that I'm going to use interfacing on both the lining and the body, which I have already done. I've gummed the body and the lining, and this is the cord lace that will be at the upper side of it. So I'm starting from the back part now. So I'm going to be placing my cord nets up, and I will be using the lining to turn it. So I bend it this way. The right side is facing the right side, and I'm using the lining to cover it. So you sew it in out so that it will be neat. I'll start from the down here. And I'll turn it. After turning it like that, you are going to notch it a little bit. So you are going to sew the side in for your work to meet. After that, you pull it out. So you can see how the back looks like. I've used the lining to turn it so that there won't be any joining here. So I'm going to be doing it for the second part too, before we hold our zip allowance and you take it to your table for ironing. So that's for that. So this is the front panel. This is the front panel that has the corset. This is the corset, the cup cover, and this is the center front of the corset. This is the lace that will be at the hop, and this is the cover for the lining. You can see everything is gummed. I use interfacing for everything. This is a black interfacing. I use it for everything. So we are going to be joining it one by one. So for the body, the center front and the sides, you are going to be joining it by 1/2 inch. You are going to be joining it by 1/2 inch. You can either open it or you top stitch on it, anyone you prefer. You can either open it, not top stitch, it depends on you. But this one I'm going to top stitch it. So this is one side. So the second side too. So the second side too, I'm sewing the second side by 1/2 inch, and this is it. I'm going to be top stitching it on the side. Like I told us that the cup for this one is not a straight one, it's a bended one. It's a bended one. I've already joined the 3 parts. Now you can see this is the side, this is the center front, and this is the second side. I told you the cup is curved, not straight. If not, this one will go up, but it's curved. So the next thing, you are going to join the lining the same way you join the bodice. So I'm going to join the lining to the center front and the sides. So I've joined. You might not need to put top stitch on the lining. So I'm going to join the other side too. So I'm through with joining the lining and the body. This is it. This is the center front. So now I want to prepare my bra cup. I want to cover it. So this is the bra cup that I'm using, and I want to cover the bra cup. So in the last video, in the cutting, we cut the covering for the cup. So the same way I cut the lining too. So I'm going to be joining the covering for the cup. It has a shape, so you are going to be following that shape. This is the shape there. I'm following the shape there. So the second one too. Always look at the shape. It's not straight. So to complement it to the down, you can actually, you can say I notch that center. You can actually top stitch it. You can actually top stitch it so that it will not be shifting. So I'm going to top stitch one side. So I'm top stitching the clothes. So if you top stitch for this side here, the other side will be at this side, so that when you place this on each other, it will correct. So this is our cup cover. We are going to be placing it on our cup to cover our cup. So, and you can see the cup that it has a shape already. Look at it. It comes down like this. There is a V shape there. This is the way it's supposed to come down. So whenever you want to buy your cup, you should always observe. So I've used it to cover it, and you are going to get the center point of that cup. You can actually pin it down. If you know that it will be shifting in your hand, you can actually pin it down. You pin the center from the nipple point to the clothes, and you start sewing. So I'm going to start sewing it, and be using your hand to adjust it. You can see the way I'm using my hand to adjust it. So I have already covered the cup. You see the way the cup is. I've already covered it. You see the joining there is on the center point. You see it. So you trim away the excess at the down. You might still wait for the one at the up, because we are still going to be using the lining to cover it. So you just trim it by and leave like half an inch, because we are going to sew it in. So this is the cup that we covered here. So we are going to be sewing it inside too. So the second cup, this is the second cup. I want to cover it. Like I told you, you have to check the center points, that the two center points is on the same line. You can actually pin it down. So this is the second cup. Now I've pinned it down, so you are going to sew it. Make sure your center point of the cup and the center point of your clothes correspond. If it's not correspond, you adjust it well. So I'm going to be sewing it down. I'm just sewing at the tip, not on the line, because it's that line that you are still going to sew to your fabric, to the down. You can see the way I'm using my hand to adjust it, so that there will not be any excess there. You know, this is a thick material. If you are using a soft material now, like velvet or lycra, it will be shifting by itself. So for this one, you have to adjust it well, so there will not be any excess. So I'm through with my cup covering now. I've covered the second cup. You can see it, the way it's looking so beautiful. You see the cups? I told you it has a shape, so you have to look at the shape. Don't just place your cup anyhow. So you trim it and let it remain like half an inch. This is it. So I'm going to be placing it on my front here. So this is how I'm going to be placing the cup. So you just have to check it. If it's still not up to there, you have to trim it down. I did not let it to be too big from the start, so that I can be able to adjust it when I want to sew it. It is very good like that than for it to be too big from the beginning and you will not be able to adjust it. But as it is small like this, so let both sides be equal. You can see it's not equal. I have to trim it to be equal. So this is it. So I want to place my cup now. Go. So I'm going to place my cup in this front now. You see the way it will be. I'm going to place this cup inside this hole now. So I'll start from this edge here, and I'm going to be sewing on the line of the cup, that line that was put there for you to sew. So you just have to be rolling it. Don't draw, it has to roll inside. You see it? I've already sewn it inside. So I'm through with the first one. This is it. I'm going to be putting the second cup. See the way I'm placing it? I'm putting the second cup. And I told you, please sew on the line. On this line. On this line that was placed in the bra cup. This line, you have to sew on it. Don't let it climb on the foam. It has to be on that line. And I'm rolling my hand into it. Finish. So I've joined the two bra cups now. So after joining it like this, the inside, I love putting this iron, this bra iron in it, because it makes it to be more pop up. Like when you buy a bra, there is always an iron at the down of the bra. Let me do one for you so that you will know the difference between a one that there is iron and the one that there is no iron. And if you look at this iron, it has a shape. Look at it. This is the shape of a bra. The middle is down, like the way this corset is, and the sides are high. You look at it, this is size 42, and that is what I'm using. So how am I going to put this iron? I'm going to sew it, this place that I joined to the body, I'm going to be top stitching it down and creating a hole there. So this is how I'm going to sew it. At the tip of the cup, this is at the tip of the cup. Is the tip of the cup, so that at least half an inch, you see it, half an inch. So by that, after doing that, you see the cup, the shape. That means this one is for this side, this one is the front, and this one is the side. I'm going to be pushing this iron inside that place that I sew. Look the way I'm putting it. Can put it from the other side. So you see it. You see it now. See the difference. See the one that has iron and see the one that there is no iron. It's the same thing with buying your bra. If there is no iron in your bra, everything will flat. But look at it when I put the iron. Look at it. Look at this one. It's still sleeping. By the time I sew it and I put the iron, it will stand like this. So by the time you put your bra inside, you see the way it is. So I'm going to sew the second side to this place. We are going to sew it down and create a hole. That is where our bra iron will enter. So I'm putting the bra iron for the second one, and I told you, see this, the front, the side, don't make that mistake. So I'm putting it inside that small hole. So I've already inserted the second iron. You see it? See the way it's looking so beautiful. See the way it's standing on its own. Because there is an iron there. It's just like buying your bra. There is no need for you to wear anything inside. It's already popped off. You look at it. See the outside. So I'm going to be doing the same thing on the lining. On the lining too, I'm going to be joining the bra cover. I'm going to be putting it on it. So now we have already fixed our cup and we have put the iron inside. The next thing is, if you look at the style, you see there is a cord at the upper part. So I'm going to be putting this cord lace at the upper part. Remember, I put it at the back too. So I'm going to be sewing it here before placing the lining to turn it. So I will start from the center front. I'll start from here. I'll first sew it to this side. You have to do it gently. You have to do it gently. So you sew it to this place. So I've sewn one side. I'm going to be sewing the second side too. This is the second side. You can see I start from the center point. I don't want it to be shifting. So you are going to sew it in. And you know it's a cord lace. You have to be very careful with it. So I'm sewing the second part now. It's after this that we now use the lining to turn it. So I've joined it. You see it now. I've joined the lace up. So I'm going to be using the lining to turn it here so that all this joining will not be shown. So I'm going to start from the same way I do the body, is the same way I'll do the lining. You see it? The same way I do the body, I'm going to be putting the lining from here. You see it? I'll sew it from here to here. So I'm starting from the center point because I don't want to lose my center point. So I've sewn the upper part of this side. Look at it in the inside. You see the way it's looking? It's relaxed. You see it? You see the way it sits? It's relaxed. So you are going to do the second side too. You can see I start from the center front because I want it to make sense. I don't just want to sew it anyhow. So the second side. So I'm through with both sides, and you can notch it a little bit. Please don't let it be too much. Trim away any excess. Don't let it be too much. Don't let your notching be too much. If not, it will affect the cup. So you can see it from the inside and from the outside. You can see how neat it is. You can see how neat it is from the even from the inside. You can see it and the outside. So now I'm going to be joining the side, turning it in, because I like to tape my clothes in. So I'm turning the side. So I'm sewing the side inside at the tip, just for you to be able to turn it. You can see the way my corset is looking so beautiful. Even without finishing it, you can see the beauty is already coming out. The second side, I'm sewing it in. So you turn it out. So before you iron it, please note this up, there is something we call bracing. You can see you have sewn it like this, but you have to hold it down. We call it bracing. You get a single thread like this, a single thread. You can see it's single like this. You don't need to use it to tag button. You use it and brace it down. It's called bracing. You use it to hold it down, so that by the time you are working it will not shift. You are using it to hold the lining and the body of the upper part together. So you have to be very careful. You see the way I'm doing it, and you see it, it's helping me. Initially what I sew here is very balanced because I follow the line. That's why I told you, when you are sewing the bra cup, following the line of the cup, so that your work can come out neat. I'm bracing it down, so that by the time you want to iron it, you won't even bother yourself, because it will just relax on its own. Any neck, even when you do tape a neck, you just have to brace it down, so that whenever you want to iron, it will be very easier for you to iron it. So I'm through with this now. You can see the way I brace it down, and you cut the remaining. So I'm going to be checking my measurements. So this is the front part. You can see the way my corset is raising very well, so beautiful. So I want to check if my half length is correct. What I have here is 18. My half length is 18, and I have 18.5 here. So you can see that my half length is correct here. My measurement is correct here. So the next thing is I'm joining the down part to it. This is the down part. I've already sewn lining and iron it. I've already done that. So I'm going to be joining it to it now. So now I'm joining the upper part to the down part now. I'm joining it to the down part. You can see how it's looking. So, and I'm going to be putting all those velvets that is being placed on it. I'm going to be putting it, so I will show you when I'm done with that. It's going to be on the middle, and it's going to be all over the body. When I'm done with it, I'll show you. So like I told you, I want to fix all these velvet bias. I've already fixed them. I've already fixed the velvet bias on it. It's a long process, so I'm through with fixing the velvet bias now. So the next thing is joining the back. I want to join the back parts. I've done the upper part of the back before. This is it. So I'm going to be joining it to the down and fixing both sides. So I'm joining it this way. So you cross check whether your length is accurate. If there is excess, you can trim it out. The half length, you cross check is accurate. So I want to put it to my side, to the upper part, sorry. You can see the way I'm fixing the back. I'm fixing the second side too. Fixing the second side too. So you can actually weave this place. I'm going to weave it. So this is the back panel. You see it? So I'm going to be creating my zipper allowance, because there is a slit at the back, and after then we are going to join the side. I've already marked out my zipper allowance on it before. So I'm going to be using temporary stitch to hold it down. So this is my zipper allowance. I'm holding my zipper allowance like this. Go. So I'm joining the back of the gown. So I'm going to be leaving a slit of 20 inches. You know, it's a pencil gown, so you have to slit it so that the person will not be falling. And after the zip, you have to sew that place twice. After the zipper allowance, you sew it twice. So this is the back part. I'm going to be joining the front to it.
Action.
So the next thing now is joining the sides together. So after the side, we are going to take it to the table to iron everything. So this is the shoulder. We are going to join the shoulder, and this is the side. I'm joining the side by 2 inches.
Go.
So I'm joining the sides. My hip is 46. You can see my hip line. That is 11.5 on this side. You can see it. So the way I join this side is the way I'm going to be joining the other side too. I'm almost at the down. So I've joined this side, so the same way I joined this side, and you are going to notch it small, not too much, so that the side will relax when you are ironing it. So the same way is what I will do at the other side. Iron table, I have ironed the side. Since I have joined the side, I have ironed it to the down. I have created the zip allowance, done everything. So the next thing is showing us how to put our crinoline on the flounce. This is the flounce. If you look at the video of the cutting, you see that we cut out flounce, and I'm using a taffeta as the lining of the flounce. You know that when you cut a flounce, it will be opening on both sides, so I cannot use lining. I have to use a taffeta that is shiny, that will be on the other side. So how am I going to put this is my crinoline. This is a black crinoline. I'm having here a crinoline of 3 inches. This is it, 3 inches. We have 1.5 inches. We have 2 inches. This is 3 inches. There is also 5 inches. I have my crinoline here. We call it crinoline. You can call it horse hair. So I'm going to be putting it in the flounce. And this is 3 inches crinoline. We have 4 inches. We have 5 inches. We have 2 inches and 1.5. So this is how I'm going to be placing it on my fabric. So you hold both the lining and the fabric together. The Ankara will be on the up. That means the right side will be on the up. Your lining will be under. So you are going to be putting it at the tip like this. The first thing is, when you put it, you just put your needle down to secure it. The next thing, you come sew it small and leave it. This crinoline, I'm not just going to be putting it like this. I have to roll my hand. You see the way I'm doing it, it's not straight like this. I'm letting it to have an excess. You will see the reason why I'm putting that excess by the time I'm through. So this is the crinoline. You see the way I do it, you see the excess here. That is how it's popping up, because what you are putting it inside a flare. So you cannot make it straight because it's already a flare. So I'm sewing it that way. You can see it's flying up. By the time I want to bend it, you will see what I'm talking about. You can see I'm trying to set it for it to be on the same line. So after sewing it like this, I cut the remaining. So the way it's folding up like this, you open it up. You know, you join the two materials together, you open it up, and you are going to top stitch, and you are going to be bending this to the lining side. You see the way I'm bending it, but it will remain like a quarter of an inch, so that by the time you bend it this way, so you are going to be top stitching on the half an inch, and it has to be on the lining side. By the time you top stitch, see the way it's looking at the back. You see it is on the lining, it's not on the Ankara. It will fall on the lining you are using. So you are following the line. It has to be folding like that. If you just draw it, it will not be able to bend for you like this. You see you see it. See what I'm talking about? You can see my hand is on the lining. And by the time I bend it, you can see it has already folded itself for me, not that the lining is coming outside. By the time I iron it, it will lay, because I've already created that line there. So I'm sewing it down. You have to be careful with the crinoline, because it normally enters into your needle. And you can see at the end there is no excess, you see. So you see the way it's folding. By the time I bend it towards it to iron, you see that everything will just be perfect. You see it, see the back. So I can actually hold it down before I iron it. It has already given me my space to bend. You can see it. See the way the flounce is pumping up. And you trim away the excesses. When you trim away the excess, you now take it to an ironing table. You can actually weave this tip so that it will not be removing. You just take it to your ironing table. By the time you iron it, it will relax. This for the flounce. I want to place the crinoline. I've drawn a circle there. There is like a bow at the end. I've drawn a circle. I'm going to be tracing the circle out with my flounce. So you are going to be doing it gently, like I'm making a rose. See the way I'm doing it gently? I'm using the flounce to make a rose. So I'm putting small pleats for the rose to round, not just going straight. So if you see that that one is not full enough, I'm going to be putting another one to make it big, because if you look at that style, it's big. So I'm going to be putting a smaller one to make it big. Bueno, más bien ya que so I'm sewing the flounce. I'm making it as a rose. I'm almost through with the rose. You can see how beautiful the rose is coming out. So this is my rose for the sleeve. You can see it. You can see the rose. and I'm still going to be putting a straight one. If you look at the style very well, it has two straight ones again. Wow, you can see the way it's coming out. But this long one, I'm not going to be cutting it away because I'm still going to extend it to the neck by the time I join the sleeve. So you just have to stop somewhere here. You just stop. By the time you join this place to the sleeve, I will now extend it to our neck. And this one is 2 that is there. So I'm placing the second one. You can decide to turn it inside because of the weaving. So I'm turning this one inside. So I'm turning this one inside because of the weaving. So I'm through with the sleeve now. Wow. It's coming out beautifully. You can see it. You can see it. So you are going to be joining it. You have to make it gently. You are going to be closing it up here. So you measure your round sleeve. My round sleeve here is 12. That's 6. I'm joining the round sleeve. So by the time I join it finish, I'll join it on my gown, and after everything you will see it. So you see the way the sleeve is looking. I told you not to cut the excess for now. So we are now through with our corset and turtleneck gown. You can see the sleeve. I told you the flounce. This is the flounce, and this is a rose at the end and a flounce too to the neck. If you look at the style that was posted, you will see it, everything there, and the body. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video. Please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Success Teaches, and click on the notification button so that you can get updates on new videos that we post. Thank you. See you in our next video.
Mommy, anytime where I do with you, I want your heart and soul, like yo. I begin to fall.